Hello there,
General Kenobi.
and welcome to another episode of the Prequel Gang Podcast, the show where we talk about movies completely unscripted. Today we're talking about Back to the Future.
I think this is originally your favorite movie, right?
I mean,
It was definitely, at one point, it was definitely your favorite movie.
it might have been, I don't remember. But yeah, it's good. It's a good movie.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. It's really, it kind of forms the basis of, like, time travel movies. Because, like, if you change something, it changes, like, I guess, like, it's a basis for all movies that deal with time travel. Except for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which I think we should talk about in the future. You should see that. But yeah. Okay.
Right.
Awkward silence.
Yeah, Kenny, you ready to talk about the movie? Come on.
Yeah. That's what I was prompting you to do. Trying to, at least. Ow, that's hot. Sorry, I'm making food. Yeah. Go ahead, start talking about the plot.
Okay, so the movie starts. The movie starts with Marty McFly, the main character of the movie.
My name is Marty McFly Williams, and I'm about to bomb this Master Hill.
What?
Have you ever seen that meme?
No.
Okay, whatever. I'll send it to you after we're done.
Okay. So Marty McFly, he basically is friends with a person named Doc Brown, who is a scientist.
Yeah.
Basically, in the first scene, Marty is just like kind of there to feed Doc Brown's dog, and then he's late for school, and
He has a watch. Like, seriously, how is he late for school if he has a watch?
Because like all of the clocks that were in Doc Brown's place were like intentionally set like 30 minutes slow or something.
That's weird. Okay, go on.
Anyway, so he's late for school, and he gets kind of a little bit in trouble with the principal. And
No. First, pretty cool scene. He basically like gets a skateboard and just like hangs onto the back of a truck.
Oh yeah, facts.
Yeah.
That guy's pretty good at skateboarding. Let's just say that for now.
Yeah.
Like he can really use that thing to get places.
Tony Hawk ?
I don't know. Anyway, then what happens next? He meets up with his girlfriend Jennifer, I think her name was, and what?
Oh no! What? Oh.
Kenny, if you're doing anything inappropriate, now is not the time to do it.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. You know that feeling you get when you bite into an ice pop?
Why were you biting into an ice pop?
I wasn't. Basically, I made some noodles. And it has like vegetables in it and stuff. And I microwaved it, and everything in it is hot except for this one piece of broccoli, which was basically like frozen. Oh my god. Yeah,
Okay,
go on.
So anyway, Marty meets up with his girlfriend named Jennifer, and they talk, and Marty goes to like some kind of audition thing for music stuff, and he gets criticized for his music being too damn loud or something, and yeah. So then Marty goes home, only to find that his dad is kind of being bullied by a person named Biff, who was like, well, we'll talk more about that later when it becomes more relevant. But anyway, the car that Marty was going to use to like go on a date with Jennifer was like totally wrecked and stuff, and also he had a plan with Doc Brown to do something with him at like near this mall place in the middle of the night. So he goes there at like 1 a.m. I think, and Doc Brown shows off this car that he made into a time machine, and he shows his dog going exactly 1 minute forward in time, and it's a pretty cool scene. I think it was done really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then uh, basically they were like filming the whole thing, and
Mm.
that then Doc Brown reveals that in order to power the machine, he needs plutonium, which I think he stole from some
Mm.
people who then start to attack. Then Marty's like concerned that wait, this thing's nuclear, and Doc Brown's like no, 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 it's electric, but it needs like some kind of uh thing. But it needs like some kind of nuclear energy source in order to make the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity or something. I don't remember.
Basically, you need to go 88 miles an hour.
Yeah. Right.
Mm.
So anyway, then they get attacked, and
Doc gets shot.
yeah, Doc gets shot and presumably killed. But then Marty goes into the time machine and goes back to 1955. And Doc explained to him that that's like that the exact day that he went to was like the day when he basically invented time travel. Like
Yeah.
he was in the bathroom and he tripped, and then he thought of the idea of the flux capacitor, which is like a thing that is like what makes the time travel possible.
Yeah.
So Marty goes back in time.
Well, I think it's actually the flex capacitor.
What? No, it's the flux capacitor.
Alright, whatever. I'm thinking of something else then.
Anyway, you can carry on now. I don't want to carry the whole podcast.
I don't remember what happens from there. I remember very vividly the second half of the movie, not the first half.
Oh, that's convenient. Anyway, so Marty is like, at this point, he's kind of lost. He doesn't really know what to do. He doesn't have the fuel source to go back to his own time. And then he kind of meets up with his dad in like his younger version of his dad. And also...
Here's what I remember. So his dad is like peeping on some random girl, and he's up in a tree.
Yeah.
And then basically, Marty climbs up into the tree to like see what's going on, and accidentally knocks his dad out of the tree. So then he comes down, and then because his dad's almost about to get hit by a car, and he pushes his dad out of the way to like save his dad. And it turns out that, and then he gets hit by the car, and it turns out the person that hit him was his mom's dad.
Right. Anyway, actually, before I forget, that's actually originally how Lorraine and George McFly, those are their names. That's how they met originally. Like
that's the point, Artemi.
Basically, what happened was, George McFly was originally hit by the car, and then Lorraine fell in love with him from there. But then since Marty got hit by the car, now his mom is like kind of in love with him, I guess.
Ugh. Disgusting.
Not disgusting, just a little bit weird. But anyway,
Very weird.
What?
Very weird.
Okay. Anyway, from there, Marty realizes that he kind of messed up, and so he goes to Doc Brown of this time period, of like 1955 for help. Like he goes to him for help, and then at first, like he doesn't believe Marty that he's like from the future. Then when Marty talks about how that Doc slipped or something, and then he came up with the idea of flux capacitor, then Doc realizes that he's probably telling the truth.
Yeah.
And so once he realizes that you need like 1.21 gigawatts, and the only way to get that amount of energy besides the plutonium is a bolt of lightning, then Marty remembers that at that point in time there was like a lightning strike on this clock tower that they know exactly when and where it's going to hit, so they can.
It's at midnight, right?
Yeah, it's like at midnight sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, right. So at that point, they need to do that, but they also have to get George and Lorraine together, because if he doesn't, then
you can see he has a picture of his siblings, and he sees them like slowly start to disappear because his mom and dad never scootily pooped.
Yeah.
So
So anyway, Marty learns about something called the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, and he tries to get George to like go there and kind of go on a date with Lorraine there. And
Yeah.
it's like he tries to say that if he doesn't do that, then Marty will regret it for the rest of his life because he can't really explain to George that George is Marty's father and stuff.
Mhm. It'd be a lot easier if he could.
What?
It would be a lot easier if he could, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it might be, but still. So they go to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, and Marty has this plan set up where he's gonna try to make Lorraine mad somehow, and then George is gonna come in and like help or something, and
Yeah.
so then they try to execute this plan, but then Biff, the same Biff who was like bullying George McFly, he's like, yeah, he was like uh, basically a bully when he was in high school with George McFly, and
Uh huh.
uh, so Biff apparently got really drunk, and so then he basically actually started to attack Marty, and he got into the car with Lorraine, and at that point Marty was kind of trying to fight back, but then I think he got knocked out, and then George got there. He said his lines perfectly, but then he realized, oh no, that's not Marty or Calvin Klein or whatever they called him.
Yeah,
by the
because
way,
he's wearing Calvin Klein underwear.
yeah, because like Lorraine thought that his name was Calvin Klein because it said Calvin Klein on his underwear or something, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what?
I just realized that my mic was on and see it's going. Never mind.
Okay. So then George kind of starts to fight back, and then eventually he actually hits Biff right in the face and kind of, saves Lorraine, and they basically get together, they start dancing, and then meanwhile, the performers at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance who were playing the music, one of them got his hand injured by Biff and his friends. So Marty had to go in and play the electric guitar there, and he started off by playing some calm music, and then
Like slow dance music, yeah. And then
he played a different song which is like more yeah, it was like more rock, and it was a good song. I forgot what it was called. I think it was like called Johnny Be Good or something.
yeah, that's it.
Anyway, this song, it's a good song, and it's a good part of the movie.
No one liked it though because it's like too ahead of their time. And so what Marty says is, I guess you're not ready for that, huh? But your kids are gonna love it.
Basically what happens with the Star Wars prequels, but that's
Yep.
neither here nor there. Actually, I once saw a meme about that.
Yeah, I
That's
showed you that meme.
Right. That's like, I guess you weren't ready for that, but your kids are gonna love it, and he's like showing them the prequels.
Yeah.
But anyway, after that, George and Lorraine get together, and Marty actually goes into the car to actually go back to the future. Like Doc Brown has all this stuff set up to basically get the power, the electricity, the 1.21 gigawatts from the lightning into the car in order to send it into the future back to 1985 when this movie originally takes place. So they do that, and it's a very climactic scene actually because at one point the wire kind of gets unplugged at one point, and Doc Brown has to quickly get it back together. But eventually, everything turns out well, and Marty goes back to his own time, 1985. So, what are your thoughts on this whole part of the movie? Like,
it's a pretty good movie. Not gonna lie.
not like before we wrap it up, but like about this part, about the climactic part. Do you think it works? Do you think it doesn't? Or like,
It definitely works because like no one would really expect the wire to break just suddenly, randomly, makes things a lot harder.
Yeah. So Marty returns to his own time, and then he realizes that he needs to save. Oh wait, I completely forgot about that. Marty tries to give Doc a letter that do not open until 1985. That basically says that he's going to get shot down, And at first, Doc is like really he doesn't want to look at it. He even rips it up. But then like he tries to tell him, but then he can't really do that. So he after he got back to 1985, he goes to the mall place where they where the he was showing the time machine,
Yeah.
and he tries to get there on time, but he doesn't make it, and Doc gets shot down anyway. But then Marty finds out that in fact he was wearing a bulletproof vest type thing, and
For the record, that's not how bulletproof vests work. If you get shot directly, then by like guys were using a rifle, so like if you get shot by a rifle and you're wearing a bulletproof vest, you're gonna die. But like if it's a smaller caliber gun, like a pistol, or just like a really small caliber rifle, then you'll be fine. So yeah, little in case you ever are considering buying a bulletproof vest. now you know.
right.
The more you know.
So anyway, Doc is alive, and it turns out that he actually taped the letter back together, and then everything seems to be going really well. So Marty heads back to his house, and the next day he finds out that like everything has changed. Like his dad is like a successful book author person, and they're like living in a nice house with a nice car,
Yeah.
and like everything, and Marty's just in complete disbelief at first, but then he finds his car, and Jennifer asks him to like take her on for a ride, and then Marty realizes, well, no, what happens was that Doc arrived in the time machine car thing from 30 years in the future, from 2015. Well, 2015 kind of, but not really. That he needs to that something's going to happen with Marty's kids if he doesn't help, and that's like where the movie ends. They basically go to the future, and that's where the movie ends, setting up the sequel. So anyway, Back to the Future. It's a classic. It's really good.
It's great. Yeah.
It holds up really well, and yeah. And
Check it out.
check it out. I think there's a good plot, good characters, some very hilarious dialogue at some points,
Yeah.
and yeah, just check it out.
Yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and keep having the high ground.
Yep. Bye.